Hi, I'm Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. As I'm traveling around the country, I see a lot of quilts, and the ones I'm always drawn to are those beautiful antique quilts. And I was somewhere in Indiana when I happened across this beautiful antique quilt, and I decided that I would make a replica of it out of solids. A lot of the old quilts were made with two colors, and I just fell in love with it and fell in love with this cheddar, so I thought I would replicate this for you. Now, as I started looking at it, I realized that it's the exact same blocks you use to make the Jacob's ladder. So you need a 4-patch and a half square triangle. Here they are right here. Here's your 4-patch and here's your half square triangle. And it's just how you lay them out. So we're going to go through the whole thing start to finish so that you can replicate this yourself. This quilt is about, let's see, it's 66 by 72. You know, this is the size it is. It's going to take about 2 yards of each color. And I have 18 squares across and 19 rows. So it's almost square, just a little bit different in size, but you can make it whatever size you want. And because you're dealing with two colors, you know, you can use however much you want as well. So there's lots of ways to make 4 patches and half square triangles. And today I'm just going to show you the way I did them with this because I was working with charm packs. I made the 2 blocks, so I made a 4-patch like this and a half square triangle like this. So our half square triangle, we're going to make it the old way. And what I did was I took my white square and I ironed it in half diagonally like this. This gives me a sew line. It's better, it's faster than drawing the line. So I'm going to lay them, my white on top of my other one. And this is going to be the line that I set my presser foot against. So I'm going to be sewing 1/4 inch out from either side of my diagonal line. So we'll go to the sewing machine and do that. And I'm just going to set my presser foot right along that edge and I'm just going to sew. When I get down here to the bottom, I'm just going to whip it around and sew the other side. You can see I'm using a gray thread so you can see that a little better. Then we just need to cut these in half. And you can use your rotary cutter or a scissor, whatever you'd like. I'm just going to scissor cut these. Old school, a little bit of old school right here. Sometimes we need to remember where we came from, you know. So we're going to go over here and iron these open. And I'm going to put my darker color on the top and press back. And the same with both of these. So out of that one cut, we're getting 2 of those. So now we need to make the 4 patches. And again, there's loads of ways to make 4 patches. We're going to do it the scrappy 4-patch way because we're dealing with charm packs. If you had yardage, if you can't find the color you want in a pre-cut and you want to use yardage, you could do this with strips as well. But we're going to do it the scrappy 4-patch way. So we're going to have our 2 squares and we're going to sew right down the sides like this and then cut that in half. So we're coming over here to the sewing machine. So straight down the side is all you're going to do on both sides. So we're just going to turn this around and sew down the other side. And then I'm just going to cut this in half. And we're working with 5-inch squares here. So I'm going to come in 2.5 inches from the edge, just like that. And then we'll press these open right over here, the ironing board. Here we go. I'm going to press that open and press this one open. And then we're going to, then what I'm going to do, now if you're doing the scrappy 4-patch, you're going to sew loads of these together like this, and you're going to cut them every one. Because we're just dealing with 2 colors, what I can do is I can nest these up here together like this. And I'm just going to cut it in half again. Or actually, you know what we can do? I just thought of something even faster. I love it when that light bulb moment goes on. So now we can just sew down the sides again and cut the whole thing in half. How cool is that? We had a light bulb moment right on camera. So we're going to make sure this is nesting nicely. And this one too. because you want that middle seam all nested up tight. Wow, this is cool, you guys. We just came up with a little bit quicker. That's pretty fun. Then we're going to cut it in half again. 2.5 from the edge. And voila! We have our four patches. So that's kind of cool. We're going to iron those nice and flat. So now the whole key with this quilt is the layout. So we're just going to gather up our 4 patches and our half square triangles, and we are going to put them together. And I've got my cheddar always going in the same direction. Whenever I have a 4 patch, I'm going to remember that this cheddar is in the top left corner. Then these are the ones that switch. So every other row, these will be different. So we're going to do one whole row where our cheddar's to the top square, and then this one faces down. So they're identical the whole row. This is what makes this quilt really fun to put together, because it's just got such bang for its buck. It's got a lot of pop. So then next we're going to start with ours, but it's going to go the opposite direction. So the half square triangle now is going to point up, so these are going to meet like a little bow tie thing. But our 4 patch stays exactly the same. So we've got this one. We've got a row where the white's up and the next row where the cheddar's up. And our 4 patches stay the same. So make sure this is right. There we go. Let's do one more row just so you can see how this is going to go. So then now again we're starting. Now one thing you want to make sure is that depending upon your seam allowances, your blocks, you want your blocks to be the same size. So you want to make sure that your half square triangles are the same size as your 4 patches. So just if you need to square those up a little bit, go ahead and do that. But this is, okay, so now there we go. So this row then now is the white one up. So I had one with the white up, cheddar up, white up. So every row, just the opposite. Here we go with this. And there we go. And then this one. See how this is coming together? Can you see this? And I really have to look. I'm really anglely challenged, so I have to look and make sure that it all gets laid out just right. So once you get your quilt all laid out, you're going to sew your rows together. So you're just going to sew all these little pieces. Then you're going to sew row to row. And before you know it, you're going to have a beautiful antique replica just like this one. So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial from the Missouri Star Quilt Company. So that the white goes up to the top right. Is that right behind me? No, the camera guy says no. So this way? Is that better? Okay.